Again, guys, thank you so much for joining our webinar today. As you know, we launched Kerio Cloud quite a few months ago, and there's been a lot of really cool things going on over the past few months. We've made a lot of changes, a lot of improvements. We've expanded, obviously, into Europe, and we're super excited about what's going on right now. We'd love to share with you today all of the different changes that we've made and the things that are going on in Kerio Cloud in hopes that you will find it just as exciting as we do. So just to get started here, today's agenda, we're going to talk about plans and pricing. I'm sure some of you are aware of our plans and pricing at this point, but there have been a couple of changes and we want to go over those changes with you. We're going to talk about private cloud. You guys formerly knew as dedicated servers, we have renamed private cloud, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the presentation. We're going to talk about obviously our infrastructure both in the US and in Europe. We're going to talk about ordering and management, how to order in the cloud, how to manage your customers, how to manage the domains that you have registered in Kerio Cloud. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the migration tool that we've developed. If you haven't seen the migration tool, I think you'll be quite pleased that we have created a way for you to migrate from Kerio server to Kerio Cloud. And then, of course, we're going to open things up for questions and answers later in the presentation. So with that, we'll start out with the plans and pricing. As we discussed, there have been quite a few changes made. Retail pricing, we have two plans in shared server environments. The business plan, which is $4.99 per month US dollars. As you can see, we now also support Czech crowns, Australian dollars, euros, and pounds, and those respective prices are listed as well. Business Pro plan, $8.99 US dollars, and again, you're able to see the conversions for your local currency as well. The business plan is still at 10 gigs per mailbox. Again, that's an aggregated count. So if you have 10 mailboxes, you're going to get 100 gigs of disk space to allocate across your users as you see fit. Of course, the Business Pro plan is an unlimited mailbox. There is no limitation on disk size or mailbox size. One really cool thing that we've implemented in the business, or excuse me, in the Business Pro plan is the Advanced Spam Titan spam and virus filtering. We'll let you know that Spam Titan actually uses a local appliance in either data center. So the European data center, we have a Spam Titan cluster in the European data center, and we also have a Spam Titan cluster in the US data center. So the emails that are being sent out of either data center are not being sent to a third party. All of that filtering and all of the scanning is done locally to the servers. So I just wanted to make you aware that everything's kept in house for security purposes, and we did that, just to make sure we follow all laws and regulations. So it's super secure. Of course, the spam filtering for the business plan is using Spam Assassin, which is an updated version from what we currently or what we used to have several months back. So you will see an increase in spam accuracy even on the basic plan at this point. Virus filtering, we use Sophos still in the business plan. With the Business Pro plan, you actually get 2 additional levels of scanning. You get Kaspersky as well as ClamAV, and those are included in the Spam Titan product. One really cool thing we've done, we've actually changed. When we first launched Kerio Cloud, we did not include Exchange Activesync in the business plan. After listening to you guys and hearing all of your concerns and wanting to better the product, we did not raise the price of the business plan, but we did actually add Activesync to the business plan. So now everyone has Activesync across the board, and we hope that that excites you as much as it excites us. All of our current business plan customers that had no Activesync will be upgraded to Activesync automatically. So that feature will be available for anyone who currently has business plan. That actually should be done probably by the end of business day tomorrow, from what I can understand. And of course, email archiving right now is only an option for U.S. Data center customers. We are working on creating an email archiving platform in the European data center, and of course, it's at $3 per month per mailbox. And of course, your discounts apply as you add customers. So depending on the level of partnership, you will get your designated discount. We do not offer domain registration in this release. It's something that we used to offer, but it will be coming shortly, so bear with us on that. So getting in a little bit into the dedicated virtual machine, we're going to talk a little bit about private cloud, which is what we talked about a little bit earlier in the beginning of the presentation. The dedicated virtual machines give you the ability to sell your customer or your partner dedicated servers that they can use either for a direct customer or that you can use to sell shared services. And the dedicated virtual machines, which we call now private cloud, come with obviously a static IP address that we guarantee to be a clean IP address. It does come with a signed SSL certificate. That SSL certificate is provided by Kerio, and it is also the only SSL certificate that comes with the private cloud machine is the one for your primary host name. So if you wanted to add multiple SSL certificates, you would need to purchase those certificates and install them. The SAN storage that comes with the dedicated virtual machines, the primary SAN storage is 8 gigs for an operator server and then 300 gigs for Connect server. That's the base configuration. And also the base configuration will include 2 virtual CPU cores as well as 2 gigs of RAM. Anyone who has seen our price calculator in the partner portal will see that it's very, very easy to adjust that price calculator, get real-time pricing based on your discount, and it will actually self-adjust your resources based on the number of users that you add. The other really cool thing is it breaks down your pricing, not only total pricing per private cloud server, but also a per user count as well. So you'll get an accurate per user price, which helps when you're looking at pricing your services out to your customers. A little bit about the Kerio Cloud infrastructure. Again, going back to what we discussed during the introduction, we have started Kerio Cloud in Europe. Our European location is in Dublin, Ireland, and that location is actually operated by Kerio Technologies UK Limited. It is not operated by the US, Kerio US, so we kept that totally segmented for security reasons and also for compliancy reasons. You'll be happy to know that, again, your data in Europe does not reach the US at any given time. So we're happy to have the Dublin data center in place, and as you all probably know, our U.S. Data center is in Atlanta, Georgia, and again, it is operated by Kerio Technologies US. Of course, both data centers are secure and fault tolerant, are restricted biometric entry, advanced fire detection control systems, power backup system, gas, diesel, battery. These data centers are tier 3 data centers, and they are superb in every way. I mean, we're super happy to have these data centers and have access to be able to offer Kerio Cloud in such hybrid facilities. Let's talk a little bit about connectivity to the data centers. Both data centers have high-speed 10 gigabit fiber optic links. Both data centers are obviously extremely redundant, multiple paths to several different providers, Verizon, Level 3, AT&T, Vodafone. And of course, as I said, they're super reliable. We have 24/7 monitoring by dedicated staff in the data center, in both data centers. And we take an extreme proactive approach in making sure everything's up and running and everything's running as smooth as possible. As far as the virtualization is concerned, again, most of you probably are aware that Kerio Cloud runs on VMware. And we chose VMware for a couple of different reasons. I mean, obviously the main reason is redundancy. You know, VMware Kerio Cloud utilizes vSphere and vMotion to make sure we replicate systems and move systems from point A to point B in case of a failure in hardware. The second reason why we chose VMware is obviously performance. You know, the performance distributes processing across multiple systems, so giving us a much more redundant system in whole. And then, of course, the elastic scalability of VMware. Obviously, it's super important for us to be able to scale on demand, not only vertically but horizontally, and VMware gives us the ability to do that. So, again, VMware is the choice of virtualization for Kerio Cloud in both data centers. Hardware-wise, you know, we run all of our hardware is run on HP Xeon Blade servers. We have dual 6-core Xeon processors in every blade. We have over 120 virtual cores right now to be able to deliver immediately, and that's in each blade, by the way. And then, of course, 192 gigs of memory in each blade as well. We're able to deliver up to 48 virtual machines per blade, and the scalability is incredible. Obviously, one of the biggest concerns with running Kerio Cloud infrastructure is to make sure that the I/O and the disk speed is incredibly fast and is able to keep up with the demand of people hitting that server, you know, all day, day and night. And what we've done is we've created a extremely functional, extremely fast, high throughput fiber channel SAN environment. We do have a dedicated primary SAN, which is extremely fast, but we also have a secondary SAN, which is basically a mirror image that we do snapshotting and real-time synchronization from SAN A to SAN B. So in case we have an outage on SAN A, then SAN B would take over. And those are two separate instances of these NetApp SANs that we run internally. We do have a 4 gigabit dedicated fiber channel, which is direct connect to the blades, giving us high throughput and bandwidth. We run RAID DP on all of the NetApp SANs, which is extremely high level RAID. We do obviously have redundant power supplies. The entire SAN infrastructure is N+1 redundant. And then again, as I said, a secondary SAN for replication in case of a failure of the primary SAN. So how do we back up the data, and how do we protect the data in the data center? We actually use a complete file level replication to our backup boxes. We do bare metal backups, and we retain those backups for up to 30 days. If you have a dedicated or a private cloud, you can request a longer retention period anytime. But again, you know, it's important to understand that we do complete file level bare metal replication. It is a complementary service. It also includes the private cloud. We do this on our back end. If you need to do restores, please be aware that the restores have to be done by Kerio technicians. It simply requires a phone call or a ticket being opened to get a restore completed. We do offer granular recovery options, meaning if you need to restore a single mailbox or you need to restore a single calendar or a contact for a particular user, you can request that to be done. It takes no longer to do that than it does to do a complete restore. The process we use R1Soft on the back end, and it's extremely easy for our technicians to go through a file level view in a simple user interface and do those restores quickly and easily. It does not require, in most cases, a reboot of the server. Again, recovery performed by Kerio technician. So let's get in a little bit into ordering and domain management. The Kerio Cloud ordering system, we used to use a slightly different version of the ordering system. We've actually moved that ordering system into the Kerio online store, as you have probably seen. And once you get in, you'll see it's quite intuitive and very easy to use. You have the same login for purchasing all Kerio products now, which is very nice. I mean, we tried to consolidate everything into one interface for everyone to be able to order any and all Kerio products, and I think our team's done a pretty good job of making sure that that was possible. And again, as we talked about during the pricing segments, all Kerio currencies are supported: U.S. dollars, Czech, British pounds, euros, and Australian dollars. As you can see down below, this screenshot shows you an example of what it looks like in the online store and how you actually manage your domains. This is a screenshot of the online store, and it shows you obviously the status of a domain, what data center it's been provisioned in. Obviously, you can provision to the U.S. data center or the European data center for any customer you see fit. It shows you the subscription type, the number of users, and then any options that have been added. If somebody wants to add archiving, that's going to show up under the options tab as well. The other really cool thing is we've put a couple of tools beside each domain, and we've implemented single sign-on so that you can just basically click on the little wrench beside each one of the domains. That's actually going to launch the domain level administration tool for each one of those domains, log you in with a single sign-on so that you don't have to remember all of those admin logins and passwords. All of that's taken care of in the single sign-on. The plus button beside each one of the domains there is going to allow you to upgrade or downgrade the service, add mailboxes, things of that nature. And then again, we touched on the migration tool a little bit, but the cloud icon there will actually launch the migration tool for you and put you into an interface that allows you to start a migration if need be, or continue a migration if that's the case. So those tools are pretty intuitive. Once you get in there, you'll see once you mouse over each one of those icons, it's going to give you a brief description of what each icon does. So those are tools that are definitely exciting and will be able to easily help you manage all of your domains on Kerio Cloud. So again, as I said in the previous screen, you will be able to log into the Kerio Connect domain administration panel with that single sign-on. It is an automatic one-click from the ordering system itself. It'll drop you right into the domain administration panel. You're not going to you don't have to take up a license for the administration login at all. It's actually not even going to show up in the user list at all. So that single sign-on does not take up a user license. So a little bit about the Kerio Cloud migration service. We had a lot of requests for folks wanting to migrate a Kerio server to Kerio Cloud, and we wanted to be able to do that with little to no downtime, hopefully no downtime. So the tool was basically designed to migrate from an on-prem or another Kerio Cloud server to, or excuse me, an on-prem or a hosted Kerio server to the Kerio Cloud service with little to no manual work from your side. That tool is available at migration.kerio.cloud. Again, in the admin console, the Kerio store, if you have ordered and you're managing a domain, that little cloud icon will take you right there. It is a complimentary service. There's no charge for that service. It synchronizes all mailboxes using secure IMAP, so it's secure and it's quite intuitive. It does support migration of contacts, calendars, tasks, and public folders as well. So this tool and this service will allow you to migrate easily, again, from any on-prem service to Kerio Cloud, and it's fully automated once you get started. Just a couple of screenshots of the migration service itself. you would basically put in a source server, which would be the server that you're migrating from, and then you would put in your destination server, and you basically just press go connect, and then it starts the migration for you. It's really slick. It's really easy to use. And again, you'll have a full log of everything that's occurring during the migration. You can walk away from the tool. You can close the service. You can close the website. This is a fully web-based service. Um, and you can walk away from it at any time, come back. It's going to ask you to log in with your destination credentials, which is basically the Kerio Cloud credentials. And once you log in, it's going to pick up where you left off, and you'll be able to check those logs and see where you are within the migration process. Again, it's super intuitive. We're excited about it. We hope you guys are just as excited about it as we are. It's a valuable tool that's going to help get things into the cloud with little to no manual labor. So in summary, guys, Kerio Cloud is a super redundant and reliable infrastructure. Again, we're super proud to have the new European data center in place in Dublin, Ireland, and of course the data center in Atlanta, U.S. Both data centers are very secure. Um, we offer Kerio Connect and Kerio Operator in the cloud in both locations. Obviously, if you have any questions regarding either one of those, we can dive into more detail. And then obviously ordering through the Kerio online store is a huge deal for us. It's a big step, and it consolidates everything into a single user interface and makes it easy for you guys to be able to order any Kerio product you want from a single user interface. And then, of course, the self-service data migration service. It's we're again extremely excited about that one. So uh, that's pretty much it for us today. Again, thanks everyone for joining the webinar today. And at this point, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that if you haven't signed up to sell Kerio Cloud, you can do that from the partner portal. You'll see the Kerio Cloud sign up partner portal page. You're basically going to go and search for Kerio Cloud in same page. And then you just fill out the form, press submit. You have to accept the partner agreement. And again, whether you're a partner or not, you do need to be qualified to sell Kerio Cloud. So please make sure that you follow that step in order to get started. So at this point, we're going to open mics for Brian and Karsten, and I'll leave myself available. But we'd love to answer questions and move forward.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Scott, for this presentation. I just would like to mention two things. Thank you to Chris from BIT and also from Anton from Brainworks. For the people in the Netherlands, or basically in the Benelux countries, they do not go via the Kerio online store to order these cloud solution. They can use the typical shop they use at the moment, which is, for example, shop.kerio.nl or shop.kerio.be. So they just use their normal online shop. For the DACH region, so Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, those people please go via the Brain shop of Brainworks to order these shared services, this cloud service. If you have any further questions about how to order it via the different shops like from BIT or from Brainworks, please contact your sales representative at the corresponding company. So there are some questions about the migration. So for example, does the migration support multiple domains? As far as I'm aware of, you needed to do it on a per domain basis, right, Brian?
Yeah, I was kind of not quite sure how to answer that one either. I guess the question is, you're obviously putting in a server address. Can you maybe run multiple migrations against the same server but specifying different domain names. And I don't know, maybe Scott, do you happen to know that one actually?
It's actually a good question. The way that the migration tool is designed, when you put in your destination server, which is what you have to do, at the very beginning of the migration process, it's going to ask you your username credentials. And the migration tool is really designed for shared services more so than it is private cloud. So you're right, it's going to migrate. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to migrate domain by domain.
The question was, the private cloud distributor discount is the same of other Kerio products. So as you mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, the discounts will apply partner has. So if the partner has, I don't know, 10% or 5% discount, he will also get this 5% on the private cloud, right?
That's correct, yes.
There's a question, can we white label the products? What do you mean with white label? You mean changing the login icon or something like that?
Currently, Carson, I think if I'm understanding, if I'm understanding the question correctly, yeah, you can obviously change, the login screen for Kerio webmail and use uh, a custom logo and colors. But the one thing that they may be asking is being able to utilize an API into their own storefront. And then, of course, we do have a full API for that. So if you wanted to design your own storefront and use the API that we have currently, then that is possible. That would give you a fully customized ordering process for sure.
Again, we have here the typical Office 365 question. So please consult the partner portal. There you will have also some comparison to the Office 365. So we are not going into deep with this discussion about comparing to other products.
Howie had a good question about kind of post-migration steps and how host names work and what's involved on the client side. Do they need to make any changes? You obviously want to make sure it's the least amount of steps involved for end users. And I think one of those steps, which I'll have to verify in the KB article, indicates the process for transferring your SSL certificate. That's one of the important considerations when moving from an on-prem server to one of the cloud servers. And we do have a somewhat manual process for importing the SSL certificate into the shared server or private server environment. Obviously, it's a private server, private cloud. You can do it on your own, but for the shared server environment, it's something you'd have to go through our support team, and they can actually import the signed certificate that you have. But then at that point, it's just a matter of updating your own DNS. And so if you do those two steps, that should eliminate the need to have to make any changes on the client side.
There's another question from Francisco Rodriguez. Which would be the time of the migration of a Kerio Connect to Kerio Connect Cloud from an installation under Windows with a 100 gigabyte storage? This answer I can't give you an exact answer on that because it depends on the speed of your internet connection, where the Windows server is based connected to. So what the migration tool will definitely do, it will migrate your existing storage and your existing Kerio Connect till it is finished, and it will add any additional mail which flies into your existing one. It will be added to the cloud connect. But again, it is pretty difficult to give you a time frame how long it will take.
Yeah, it just really depends on the connectivity on the client side. By the way, to add to that, I did just get confirmation that the migration tool supports one domain at a time. So if you have multiple domains, you would have to run the migration tool, multiple times. domain per domain. Obviously, there are other options for migrating private servers, with multiple domains. So just keep that in mind. It's really kind of designed more for the shared server environment at this point, but I'm sure we're going to be working on that in the future to include a more comprehensive private solution as well, private cloud solution as well.
Here's another question about the migration tool. If it can migrate Office 365 to Kerio Cloud. No, the migration tool is exclusively for migrating an on-prem Kerio Connect to a Kerio Connect Cloud.
There's a question about whether or not you can add domain aliases in Kerio Cloud. I think that's the question. It just says, how about domain aliases? Will they work? So I guess the question is whether or not we support that with the shared server option in Kerio Cloud. And I don't know, Scott.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it is fully supported. Everything that you can do, on a Kerio server or a Kerio Connect server in the admin console is fully supported. Yeah, that's a good point. Howie is saying that Migration Wiz, which is a third-party product, is a pretty good option for migrating from other platforms. Until we get to a point to where we can offer migration services for pretty much anything and everything out there, based on feedback from a lot of different partners and a lot of different customers. They seem to be pretty dependable as far as offering a migration service that will be easy to use and pretty cost effective as well. So it's migrationwiz.com in case anybody wants to check that out. It is a paid service, by the way.
So are there any more questions? There's another question. Do the admins still have access to all logs?
So on private cloud, you would have access to all server logs. Shared services or shared cloud, you do not have access to all of the logs of the server. You're restricted to domain only.
There's a question about the software updates and how that's handled.
Yeah, software updates in private cloud, in shared cloud environment, we do have a maintenance window scheduled, and forgive me for not knowing exactly what time that is. It's weekly. I think it's Fridays at like midnight. If there is an upgrade that needs to be performed, what happens is during releases of new Kerio Connect releases, the Friday following the public release, all cloud servers will be upgraded during the maintenance window. As far as private cloud is concerned, if you have your own private cloud and your own dedicated server, it's up to you to just use the built-in update tool that's built into Kerio Connect, and you would be able to do that yourself on your own schedule. So the fact that auto update tool is now built into Kerio Connect, that puts you in full control of when you update your server.
There's a question about the MX records in Kerio Cloud, which I believe, Scott, is it correct that if they use the advanced spam, the Pro plan, that there's two incoming servers that they would specify in their MX records? Is that correct?
There's actually three. So there's three. They're totally redundant as far as if you use the advanced plan. Yes.
And then just on the standard business plan, they would just be putting in the host name of their of whichever server is assigned to them. So it'd be a single MX record, correct?
That's correct. Yep, exactly.
And the same for private cloud would just be a single host name, single MX record.
Private cloud actually includes the advanced spam filtering, so you would be able to use all three of those MX entries.
Okay.
Okay, I would say thank you. I would like to make a short announcement that in June we will have again a webinar. The topic will be security related, and it will not focus that much on a specific Kerio product. It will be more a general short webinar about security when it comes to crypto lockers and ransomware. I wish you a happy evening, morning, or wherever you are based at the moment.